Don't mind me, I'm in pajamas. I plan to do this like when I was at work tomorrow, all dressed up and whatever, but I need to get this off my chest tonight, so who cares? That's what filters are for. So recently, after a lifetime of dealing with narcissism, I decided to go no contact with my mom. I just had it, like I just reached my breaking point, and it was like a minor situation, nothing major, but it just was the straw for me. Unfortunately, my time couldn't have been worse or my timing couldn't have been worse because she had recently been diagnosed with cancer. I won't go into the details as to what the situation was that just caused me to just be like, I have had it. But needless to say, it just was a situation where it's like, you have cancer and that still doesn't stop you from being a toxic asshole. Soon after I decided to go no contact, it's called estrangement, my sister lets me know that they find out that her cancer is incurable. I didn't know how to feel about that. Um, I just know that I felt numb, and the fact that I felt numb was weird to me. Like I couldn't understand why. I just couldn't understand why I didn't felt nothing. Like it wasn't a matter of like I don't. When I say nothing, I don't mean like, oh, I don't care. I mean like as in numb, like just not happy, not sad, not just okay. I heard the piece of news. Okay, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna process this. It'll hit me eventually. It'll hit me. I just need to process. It's been like 4 weeks of me processing. On the way home today, I get a text from my sister saying that the cancer is worse than we thought. I mean, how much worse can it get than incurable? But it's worse than we thought because it's in her jaw, her femurs, and her ribs. And that is when I felt something. Like, I don't know what it was, what difference it was between that and finding out her cancer was incurable, because either way, they're both terrible. But I think it sounds painful. And like when I think about it, this is me just processing information and just spitting it out. It sounds painful. It sounds awful. And as much as I don't want her to go through that. I don't want her to end her life in that much pain. The thought of that breaks my heart, despite the fact that she failed to protect me or even care or show love or anything in a way that would have been beneficial to me as a child and as a teenager and as just growing up throughout my life. And I know I need to separate the two and let that go because the past is the past. I'm very big on not living in the past, but sometimes the past comes knocking on the door and lets itself in, whether you want it to or not. And right now, I think what my issue is that I'm trying to not let it in. I'm at odds with myself. And I know that instead of going to TikTok or the internet, I should be going to therapy. But we're in America. Enough said. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to feel. Um, I'm gonna go with them next Friday she's having surgery at Dana-Farber in Boston. Not this Friday, the Friday after. I'm gonna go with them, but I have to be honest. I don't want to. I if I'm dead honest, I don't want to, but I have to. This isn't an obligation thing. A part of me feels like I have to do this. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I think a part of me understands that my mom has not had an easy life growing up. And I get it. I mean, that's not an excuse. She not just didn't do, she chose not to do the work that it would take to break that cycle. She just continued being her toxic self and expected everyone to just tolerate it. And finally, at 45 years old, I say enough, enough. And when literally, as soon as I made that decision, I felt lighter. Like I should have done this years ago, but I needed to come to this point, like this breaking point. It's almost like a breaking point. And then this. And a part of me is like, of course, because she is absolutely the type of person that would use any situation to emotionally manipulate because that's who she is. And that is my biggest trepidation here of going and being there because in my mind somewhere, and I know this sounds sick, but I'm just saying it, like, please don't judge me. I'm just saying what comes to mind because I'm trying to understand how I feel. In my mind, I know how she thinks, and she'd be like, I won, she's here. When realistically, that's not the case at all because, I mean, she's dying. But that's how she thinks. That's how she thinks. I don't know what my point is in doing all this, except for there's got to be others out there. I know there is. I know there's like a whole community of people who are estranged from their parents. Is this normal? Is it normal to feel numb like this? I don't know. I don't know. I'm so confused. But right now, I have not called her since hearing the news. I don't know that I will. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I feel like a phone call is, I don't, I feel like a phone call is phony. Like you're doing it out of obligation. I'd rather just be face to face, but I'm not going to drive all the way. I'm just not. I'm not. And I know that sounds awful. I'm such a, like, I hate that I, I feel like such a horrible human being, but this is how I feel. This is how I feel, and I need to acknowledge it. I don't know what to think, guys. I don't know. Please help.